I thought I'd share this really fun update. So, when I first started on the journey of figuring out how I wanted to create an arts fund, I actually didn't start with, like, yes, I want to have an investment firm, blah, 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 or an investment fund for the arts. I just had a general idea that I wanted to help creatives, but I couldn't figure out, like, how I was going to do it. So I just set up an LLC and I was like, okay, I actually set it up as an LLC for like my artistry, and I was just like playing around kind of like, what am I going to do? How am I going to like offer these services? And I'm sharing this because it's gone through many iterations and I wouldn't change a thing. I pretty much use that LLC and that company, otherwise known as Orm Muse Collective, as just kind of like a playing ground and a testing field for ideas and just seeing how the audience or the public generally reacts to things. So initially, it started as just like a consulting firm, and I would just consult creatives, and then I was like, I feel like I'm like kind of close but like not really. But it was great because I was doing everything myself. Like I did all the filings myself, I built the website myself, like I was doing everything for the first time. So it was a very like educational, valuable experience. And I am very much like just dive into the deep end and figure it out. I just feel like I learn faster that way, and I don't think this is any different, to be honest. And because I was just figuring out what kind of services are people going to like and what are my natural born talents, I was like, oh, well, I'm really good at kind of strategizing and figuring out like what the problem is and like messaging. And then I also, just for like fun for me, I also am an astrologer. And so I was like, I'm just going to offer some really cool like astrology readings, which are still available, but I'm just gonna offer these services because I used to like read people's charts all the time just for fun. Like maybe I should like do this for a living a little bit. And the way I was kind of like thinking about how the company itself was like an extension of me to a degree, I was like, I'm a very, like I said, I'm an astrologer. I love astrology. I'm a spiritual person. So I was kind of like framing it in the messaging of like me and how I approach things. And given the fact that I was going through, and I still am, I'm at the tail end, woohoo, my Saturn return, then I birthed the podcast. Saturn made me do it, which people were telling me for years I should have a podcast and I should be in more long form media. And in that podcast, I was like, I'm going to talk about my journey, like unfiltered, and I'm going to talk about things and themes that I personally subscribe to. And not everybody falls into the cookie cutter traditional business like podcast where it's like these like very like grind mindset to the point of like ultimate sacrifices. I think there's like always an approach of like you can scale your business, you can grow your company without having to like constantly silo yourself, that you can grow with your community and they can be of assistance to you while still honoring your health and well-being and also just being like mindful of the thing you're building and your intent behind it. And because I was very like community oriented and how I was thinking about building it, I actually set up like a creative community, like kind of like a subreddit on the website that I wanted to have, where creatives can just like come together and like share their work and ask questions and like other people can answer and like everyone can see it, so you wouldn't have to like go to more traditional routes. It's like more of a safe space on the internet for everyone to kind of congregate. But through building that, I realized I actually like developed the name of the arts fund, the Agora Fund, by just like kind of brainstorming for that and building that. And I didn't really like aggressively promote it. I just wanted to like see it because I just knew with each time I built something on under Orm Muse Collective and with creatives in mind, it was like the puzzle pieces for something bigger. I just didn't know what it was yet. And then I would play around with multiple different types of like content strategy formats, and through that I like kind of learned what like naturally worked with me and what I like to actually create, which is just kind of on this account it's just very much like, what am I thinking today, and I'm just gonna like be pretty authentic and like tell you what I'm thinking and feeling or something I came across, and that seems to like work for me and I enjoy doing it. So for like the past 8 months, I was just like I've just been like kind of flopping through it and just like thinking about like like a true artist, kind of like sculpting what it would look like, and I just realized like all of that was really honestly worth it in the end. I learned so much, and The update is that I finally figured out how I wanted to structure this thing and how I wanted to fully concretely anchor it in a certain way. So Orm Muse Collective, which is the start of everything, right? It's the start of me conceptualizing the Agora Fund. It's also the start of me reintegrating my creativity and artistry on a personal front. But I decided today, because I just wrote a new business plan for it and immersed myself of how I wanted to reimagine it, I'm gonna relaunch it as a media production company because it has its own podcast. Saturday made me do it. I love to write. That is literally my like creative outlet, and I love doing it. And I love sharing my inputs and how, like, again, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and like my commentary on the arts and culture space through the newsletter, or Muse Collective on Substack, and I still am building something else where I was asking you guys, my fellow creatives, how can I best support you? Because not everyone can be funneled through the Agora Fund. It's a little bit more of a like almost like a stricter, more intense, like highly selective process. So for everyone that may not be able to like qualify for investment on that front, I wanted to funnel you guys back over to Orm Muse Collective where it's a lot more accessible, which is the entire intent behind why I started. And through there, I get to actually work directly with you. And hint, hint, it may involve a bi-weekly office hours where creatives can come together and kind of just like ask questions of me, of the group, and be able to network with other creatives, even though you're not anchored in a major city. So, TLDR, I started Orm Muse Collective with the intent to help creatives first and foremost back in September 2024. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I just kept going. Then I birthed the idea to finally like start and launch the Agora Fund, which invests in emerging creators in film, fashion, and art. And now I'm going to relaunch Orm Muse Collective as a media production company, so stay tuned and comment with any questions you have. And also, this is your sign to just keep going. Like, sometimes you do have the pieces, you just haven't figured out how they all fit together just yet.